In this video, I'm comparing the Logitech G Pro X Superlight and the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro. Some things to note straight away. They are both very light gaming mouses and both feel really good overall. Like in terms of the feel, amazing. In terms of the technical comparison between the two, you know, two side buttons between the two different mouse. And we have two scroll wheels with the buttons in the middle, you know, programmable buttons. And also, they both come with some padding inside the boxes. So with the Pro X Superlight, I've got a bit of padding over here. It's really good for the mouse. And for the Razer, we also have padding that it comes with also. I haven't actually attached it yet, but both are so similar in terms of like how they're built because of this. So both very lightweight, wireless connectivity, and the way they connect to the Mac or Windows is both very similar because of the dongles. One of the major differences you'll see is how they're structured at the bottom. So basically, the Pro X Superlight has this sort of thing over here. That is where we can put our USB dongle in. So basically, if you have like your USB dongle sort of without the cable or connection dongle, basically we can put it there. And also that's to turn it on. And you'll see it turn on with the light here. So that's to indicate it's on basically. So apart from that, we've got the padding here and here, and that's just really it. Really smooth sort of feel because of that padding. We also have this USB connection right here, which we use the cable to connect into. So while this is wireless, it also can come with cables, so you can charge it and everything like that. Overall, a really good sort of desktop sort of mouse. Can be used for gaming, but also really good for like office work and stuff like that. Really nice, super light mouse, as the name entails. Now what we do have is our manual power and DPI controls right here. So basically, if I was to press this button for a couple of seconds, 1, 2, 3, this light would actually pop up. There we go, you can see it flashing. That just means that it's turning on. So that's how we get the indication of it turning on. But also if you press the button once it's connected to your laptop or whatever, you can actually change the DPI sensitivity. So this actually has up to 30,000 DPI, and this one only has 20,000 DPI. So this one has a lot more sensitivity with the movements, which is really solid for gamers. At the end of the day, I'm only using about 1700 DPI. I'm like lower, sort of mid-end with the DPIs. Like I don't like too much sensitivity with the movements, but overall, they both feel like very smooth. Like I can't really feel that much of a difference in terms of how they feel. In terms of how they feel with your hands as well, like they're both very similar in sort of size and stature. Like the Superlight is a little bit smaller from what I'm seeing as well. Overall, I like the design of the Superlight because it's more round and circular. It just feels a bit nicer on your hands and more smooth. While this one is complete sort of matte black finish, but also has like that sort of scratchy materials, if that makes sense. So it's not really as smooth as the Superlight, if that makes sense. But it's still really good. No onboard LED lighting. Usually with like the Razer stuff, there's a lot of LED lighting, especially with the Razer sort of markings there. So that's something that's different. In terms of how they sound, let's do a comparison. So we'll start with the Razer mouse. And now the Pro X Superlight. So now you guys have heard the sound test between the two. both like, they sound great. Like there's no real big difference between the two. Now let's talk about the connection to the Mac. So the main difference between the connection of these is the cables. So we both come with sort of similar dongles and stuff. They're both like just tied together. So basically, I'm finding the Razer cable to be a bit nicer than the Logitech cable. So if you look at the actual cable for the Razer, it's more of a braided cable. There's so much tangling going on. So this is the Razer cable. It's a nice sort of lengthy braided cable. And we have the dongle right here at the end, right here. And this is all like disattachable basically, but that just comes out like that, and it's actually Type-C, which is really good. So we can charge it through just wired connection, and we've also got that wireless connection with the dongle here. And also with the Pro X Superlight, we've got a similar thing. We've got the charging cable, but this has this really weird sort of micro USB connection, which is quite odd. But it does come with the dongle, and as you can see, USB connection. Both of these, you will need the cables to be able to connect it. If you lose the cables, especially for the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, basically for basic usage, like what I'm a big fan of is that manual DPI control on board. Now with the Logitech G Hub, you can actually like just manually do all that sort of stuff. But I do prefer having the manual stuff on board with the mouse. So definitely Razer wins with that point, basically, having the manual DPI control. But with the software, the G Hub is actually compatible with Mac. So that means that, you know, we can do all the software stuff with the Logitech stuff. But when it comes to the Razer Synapse, it's not compatible with Mac, so that's a major downfall. So basically we're stuck with just how it is. So that is a negative point, but you know, the positive is we have that manual DPI control, so we don't necessarily need the software, but for creating profiles and using these side buttons for individual things and setting up different profiles, definitely the Logitech G Pro X Superlight like wins on all rounds because it is compatible with Mac for my sort of usage. So I would say that, you know, getting the G Pro X as a Mac user is the one you want to go with. If you're a Windows user and can use the Synapse, then definitely get the Def out of V3 Pro. I definitely feel like it's a serious contender for one of the best mouses to get because, you know, it feels like such a great gaming mouse overall, and I'm really such a fan of it that I do feel like it's great. And it has so much, like, it has this crazy expansion with the 30K on the DPI's sensitivity and stuff like that. Overall, great feeling mouse as well, really lightweight. Whichever one is the cheapest for you, like, I would go for. And depending on what you are using as your operating system is probably the one you want to go for as well. You know, overall, I still feel like Razer is the best for sort of gaming mouses overall. And Logitech is like good for like gaming, but also for like office use. So those are my thoughts and feelings in comparison between the two mouse. And I'll see you guys next time.